Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the record, Mike Cierpiot, District representing Senate Bill 581. Senate Bill 581 is an education bill aimed at helping low-income kids in poor-performing schools into a better school. The Senate bill is a bill that would take Missouri's 529 plan, called Most 529, available to low-income students. It would do this by creating a fund managed by the state treasurer's office that families of children living in households earning at or below 200% of federal free and reduced price lunch population could apply to. The program will have a $25 million cap. Families will apply and be chosen based on priorities established by rule by the treasurer's office. Rules like eligibility based on free and reduced lunch, attending a poor-performing school or an accredited school, and siblings already in the plan. The fund, capped at $25 million, will be funded by donations from individuals and corporations that pay Missouri income tax. These individuals could contribute up to 50% of their state tax liability. Those individuals and corporations will then receive a tax credit. The legislation proposes utilizing an already existing infrastructure in the Treasurer's Office that has been in place for more than 20 years, and more than 100,000 Missourians already know and trust. To create an account worth up to the state adequacy target, which is presently about $6,300, for thousands of additional students. The Treasurer's Office is here to speak to the fact that some of these accounts are already funded with public dollars. All my legislation is doing is providing an avenue for more lower-income children to have that same opportunity. I'd be happy to answer any questions. If not, I'd ask you to call the state treasurer if you do that.
And thank you for, Mr. Chairman, for the opportunity to testify. Good to see you, senators. I'm here. I'm happy to answer questions. I'll start just by saying kind of where this idea came from. Essentially, this is obviously similar to previous versions of a tax credit program for scholarships for kids to attend school. And essentially what we did was we looked at kind of last year in terms of how the best way to administer this would be, and felt strongly that with the existing framework that we have in place administratively with our 529 plan, already having a contract with the program manager and having that kind of infrastructure in place, that would be a good vehicle to use to administer these, combined with the fact that both federal and state law were changed in 2018 to allow, or I guess towards the end of 2017 and then at the state level 2018, to allow 529 accounts to be used to pay tuition for K-12 purposes up to $10,000 per year. So that was kind of the reason we looked at that and thought that this would be a good, the 529 plan would be a good vehicle for that. Obviously, the bill allows for essentially 100% tax credit for contributions to the scholarship fund, and then would give us rule promulgation authority to essentially build out the program and award the scholarships. We've talked with Senator Cierpiot about kind of how the order of priority would go, because that's not currently in a draft of the bill. Fully expect that there would be input from the committee on the bill in general. But I think from where we sit, the way that I kind of prefer it would be that priority be given to students who are on free lunch or have an IEP that are in an unaccredited school district, and then moving from that to basically reduce lunch in an unaccredited school district, and then moving on up. So basically the order of priority would essentially graduate up in terms of income, but also it would be limited at no more than twice the reduced lunch income limitation. So we'll have some language that we'll share shortly on that Senator Cierpiot can also share with the committee. So that would be kind of the order of priority that kind of we envisioned. But obviously, this is your guys' opportunity to change that however you see fit and make the policy decisions in terms of what order of priority.
I'm assuming that order would be for new enrollees, not someone who would be already existing in the program.
So initially, so the first order of priority would be because you don't want people floating in and out of the program. And I think to Senator Wallingford's point about essentially the way this bill's drafted right now is, once somebody qualifies for the program, they're qualified until they've aged out. Because essentially, the lottery example is kind of the extreme example. The other example would be the parents slightly bump over that income limit of twice free and reduced lunch amount, and it kicks their kid out of the program. So I think, maybe there's, some kind of way to build around that if
there's input, then great. But essentially, so the first order priority would be a student that was in the program the previous year. So you don't want to kick people out. And then after that, you would go into that kind of those tiers. But in order to get into the program in the first place, they would have had to have been in one of those tiers.
Right.